for today's Cup of Coffee with Scream.
Cup of coffee.
There's a reason we don't have camera. Well, there's multiple reasons why we will not put this on camera, because people would be like, oh my God, what the hell is wrong with these people? What is wrong with them?
No, they would laugh. They would laugh. They would enjoy it.
I don't think so.
Oh, they would.
I don't think so.
Mom, we are very entertaining.
Well, yes, but you know, there's entertaining. There's laughing with someone, laughing at someone.
You know, when it's on the internet, it might as well be both.
Am I a clown to you?
Am I a clown? Am I the clown?
If you all have never seen Goodfellas, that was back in the day when they actually made good movies. That's been a minute.
Send in the clowns.
Goodfellas is a brutal movie.
So is that song "Send in the Clowns." That is very
yes. It's like, I think you got your mic set a little hot. He didn't check. We didn't do a sound check before we started.
There, I got it bumped down.
Talk just a minute.
I was talking this whole.
All right, yeah, that'll be all right. I've been trying to watch him on it. It's
Girl.
What it is. He uses his mic on like live streaming and stuff.
Yeah, and so they can barely hear me through Discord and such like that.
That's
I am very
interesting.
quiet to them, but when we're recording, it's always hot. It's always loud.
Well, I think is it the proximity of the mic to your face when we're recording? He's got to stop and think, do you know where your face is in space?
I mean, usually I have...
A
lot of the time, I am literally... I think that I'm being quiet or something, and I'm hunched over into the mic, and that way it's like... And then I hear myself back on the live stream, and no one is saying jack shit.
It's interesting because microphones, it's a toy. It's a toy. It's a sound toy.
If you cannot hear... That is why I very much appreciate the feature of being able to hear myself in said mic.
Yes, and if we had the setup and stuff as far as to where we could use the soundboard...
Nah, it wouldn't even be the soundboard. If we could figure out what's wrong with that other mic, you could plug your headphones into that, and I could plug my headphones into this, and we could hear each other.
That would be great. God, that would be a dream.
Yeah.
But you know what? Since we're using OBS and stuff now, we need to get that mixing board out and see if it's compatible now. I mean, we've had the thing for years.
Yeah. Yeah. We just need, like...
And since the mics that we're using and stuff now are UBS, so it might work. Might.
I don't think that soundboard has USB
yes,
ports
it does.
in it. It does?
Yes. It may have. I know it had USB ports for something.
To plug
but
it
then
into the
again,
computer.
it had the older mic connections.
Yeah.
Like the round ones with the little pins and stuff.
Sort of like an aux.
And it was just like, my God, it shouldn't be that hard.
What are those things called? They're not...
It shouldn't be that hard.
I'm wanting to call them PS2 ports, but that's not what
that's
not what they are. Those went into old... Those were like at the ends of old keyboards and mice.
Yes. Old sound equipment before all the computer stuff. Been around forever until they started with the USB stuff. I had to look at it, you know. Are you kidding? We're doing good to plug the stuff into OBS and run with it.
I miss the trackball mice.
The what?
The trackball mice.
Oh, God. In the computer mouse.
Yeah.
That you would have to take out and clean the crud off of it every so often.
But if you weren't using it, you could just flip it under and you could mess with that little ball.
A fidget toy?
Yes. I think they still make those to like a certain model or whatever. They're not the same.
Have you seen any of those memes? Are you this old? And then they'll show something that I'm like, well, I know exactly. And everybody's like, I don't know what the hell that is. And it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, I saw, speaking of trackballs, I saw that. It was just the bottom of the mice.
Yeah.
the mouse.
And I had no idea.
And it didn't show anything else but the bottom of it with the trackball. And it's like, if you know what this is, you are old. And I'm like, I'm only 26, thank you very much, but I very much know what that is.
What was funny was showing I don't know what gen that they were. These kids a rotary phone.
And they had no idea.
Not a clue.
That should be just built into them. I knew how to fucking use a rotary phone when I was little.
Yeah.
I didn't have anyone show me. It's just, you know how to fucking use it.
It was crazy. I mean, it's just crazy that these people are not...
Some of those kids on
I have no idea.
On the Fine Bros, when they actually did do that, let me tell you, some of those kids, I could tell you they did not have an IQ over whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like like you could be like, maybe they got some intelligence, but when you show them certain things, it's like, so you don't got an IQ.
Right. Well, and part of that is the product of public education, because it was not a matter of having teaching these children what they needed to know. It was teaching them what they wanted them to know. I did comment to somebody on X that very thing earlier. Mm-hmm. Especially history. Oh my God. Because we are seeing stuff going on now that anybody, and it's not been that long ago. It's not even been 100 years on some of this stuff.
No. It's not been even 100 years. So they have no reason to not know what certain things are.
Yes, they do, because it's a matter of an agenda. They did not teach the children. They wanted this knowledge purposefully suppressed so that it could be repeated. If you teach somebody what to look out for, they're not as easy to control and manipulate. Yeah. But if you have nefarious reasons, and that was what our picture today by Grok, subject matter of derealization. And
it's a real thing.
It is a real thing, and it's a mental health condition. This is from some kind of AI overview. Mental health condition characterized by a persistent or recurring feeling of detachment from one's surroundings, making the world seem unreal, dreamlike, or distant.
Mm-hmm. See, I've had that I've had that quite frequently in the span of my life.
Uh-huh. Symptoms can include feeling like the world is not real or is a movie. Objects or people appearing distorted, blurry, or lacking depth.
Mm-hmm.
Bigfoot.
Or
Bigfoot.
Sort of. Or it's like you're looking through it like almost third person perspective,
Feeling disconnected from the people and events around you, a sense of estrangement from one's own body. Time may seem to pass differently or be slowed down, feeling like an observer in one's own life.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who is not experiencing this at this point?
If they're not experiencing it, they don't know what it is. More than likely they are experiencing it and they have no idea, or they're just ignoring it, thinking like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be.
I mean, it's like we have no clue. Honest to God, we have no clue what is being done to us. No. And it's horrifying.
It's like when we were outside earlier, when the light was still, when there was still daylight. And I'm like, that sky, it looks very, very high res. It looks like a game skybox.
But it was this beautiful shade of blue that the sky used to be.
Yeah. And the clouds actually had definition in them. Proper definition.
Yeah.
And shading and color and stuff like that. Yeah, there's
sherbet-colored clouds. It was this beautiful orangish.
Even the shadows, it was like the grays and stuff like that. It was just gorgeous.
I mean, it has just been crazy. And it's like, Is there such a thing as too much knowledge? Yes, I do believe that it is. Mm-hmm. And that was what we were watching Robert Phoenix earlier today, because I missed the live stream, because it's one of them days. I've had lots of one of those days.
It's one of those days.
But he had talked about Nina Hagen, and he had played her song.
So Bad.
Yeah. Which
so
is a
bad.
cool
Like diet
video.
Soda. So bad I'm counting 37 wars.
And it's like, kid over there loves Nina Hagen. He loves her.
It's like she's just... There is a essence to her that is endearing.
Yes, because she's a Pisces also.
Yes, but it's that just she's out there.
She's Pisces. Yes, and that was what Robert was saying, that that was a very Piscean video. Mm-hmm. Because it's just all over the place, and it's all dream. It's a dreamscape.
It's
Pisces world is
surrealism.
sort of surrealistic to begin with.
Yeah, it's literally like, no joke. Our lives is just surrealism all the time. We can't get out of it.
See, that's kind of horrifying for me, because I've had walked between realms for so many years that to have a moment of feeling totally present and grounded, I try to cling to that. And again, it's like trying to clutch water.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Well, the thing is, if you got the right vibe going on, if you can tap into the right energy, it can be very beautiful.
Well, I can see that.
And it can now honestly give you a more appreciation of the world, right, in a way, like at least like the natural stuff,
Sure, I can see that.
Or even just day-to-day things, if you look at it the right way, be like, that's really fucking cool. Like well, also that's where it goes into the derealization, like you're watching stuff through a movie or something,
And you can watch Robert's shows. It's 15 minutes of OV Flame over there on Rumble.
I will say, I did not enjoy walking through life feeling like I was going through a fucking Rob Zombie film.
Yeah, that ain't fun. But
That's a very scary thing.
He was also talking about that he had actually got to meet Nina Hagen. Mm-hmm. And he's had a life where he's got to do some really cool stuff. Yeah. And meet some really cool people.
Mm-hmm. Robert, have you met Angeline? Oh, I won't say that she's cool, but she kind of is.
Well, I think that we were talking earlier, I think she is very symbolic of Hollywood. She's now, in her 70s?
Well, it's the fantasy.
She's living a lie.
Yeah.
She has spent her entire life living a lie.
Yeah.
But honestly, and he was talking about Dr. Mercola and the smear campaign that's going on against this man. And that started years ago, as far as these naturopaths.
As far as the what?
Naturopaths. The people that do natural healing. Uh-huh. Naturopaths.
Oh, naturopaths.
And so Dr. Mercola was one that has been around for a very long time. He had a radio, show and everything like that. And so when the coup happened, so many people were discredited. Mm-hmm. Because they did not want other people to know that there was any other option.
Right. They wanted to poison people.
Yes. And so to realize that, to truly try to wrap your head around some of the evil that is going on today, and that has been going on for a very long period of time, can lead you to some derealization. Mm-hmm. And you get to where you're like, is anybody real?
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, if you're looking for...
Is anybody real? Is this life that we're living real?
Yeah.
Are these objects actually real? Am I real?
And it's like, anybody who has any kind of fame or notoriety, as far as the backstories, and I'm like, this is why never meet your heroes. And because Robert does these wonderful deep dives about these people, and he reads the astrology charts, and then he does other research and stuff like that. And if he ever, I think that there was like 2 people in a week that I just totally you need a mythos. You need to have heroes. You need to have people. It's not that I expect people to be perfect, but as far as to go into some of those depths where there is nothing left, I'm like, no. So if he ever does a deep dive on Alice Cooper, I am not. I'm not. Never meet your heroes.
Well, I mean, there is a few people, even if it's bad stuff, I would like to hear him talk about them,
Right. And it's not like I'm expecting anybody to be perfect, because nobody is. Everybody has a past. But when it is somebody that, just to have, like I said, to have that illusion. Mm-hmm. And that's something that the world has been trying to tear down for a long time. I mean, we were talking about the video games. Mm-hmm. And that they did some of this woke shit in the video games that was just totally no.
Yeah, they've been doing some woke shit in video games for a while, but this has just completely crossed a whole line.
Mm-hmm. That you need to have some of the fantasy. You do need to have a hero. Mm-hmm. You need to have someone to admire.
But also when you're doing a historical game, which that's, the Assassin's Creed games are based on history, and that's actually how they teach some history is through them.
It could be.
Due to how accurate it's supposed to be. It used to be that way. It is no longer that way because they're trying to fit an agenda and rewrite history, and it's not cool.
No, it ain't cool.
And you're offending a completely different culture that you say you're supposed to be like admiring or showing appreciation for.
I think that the Japanese people should sue the company and make them pull the game. Honest to God, I think they should pull the game.
It would not surprise me. It's supposed to launch tomorrow.
I hope that the Japanese government sues each and every one of the people that took creative license with their history. No.
Well, they already called for the people are trying to call for the government to do something about the game, over there in Japan. So it would not surprise me if they completely pulled the game. Honestly, this wouldn't surprise me if it killed Ubisoft.
Let it die.
Yeah.
Because that was a matter of them committing hara-kiri on that. Mm-hmm. They knew better. Mm-hmm. They knew better. And that was the hill they wanted to die on, so be it.
Right. Well,
I have no empathy for them.
It's like the actual good games that came out and stuff by Ubisoft in the last years. They canned them. They completely, just abandoned them or shelved them or whatever. And then they're pumping out trash.
Yeah, because it was a matter of trying to change cultures, change the world, change society, according to their view, their standards.
Right.
They didn't have, did they ask people for permission to do this stuff? Oh, we're going to make that. That's witchcraft.
Right.
It's taking away people's free will.
Yes. But the main thing that was the most, one, having the character that they did as the main samurai, that was offensive. Mm-hmm. Having some of the woke shit that was offensive. Mm-hmm. What was most egregious and offensive to Japan about that video game was the fact that they installed a mechanic where the samurai can go into one of the sacred shrines that they have, temple shrines, dirty shoes, walking up in the temple and destroying it.
See, and this is
And they're like, oh, but you don't have to do that, but you still installed that was a possibility to do in the game.
The agenda of what's going on right now, and we understand that this is evil, flat out, if you want to call it Luciferian, demonic, satanic, whatever. Evil. It is to defile any kind of sacred space and defile any kind of innocence. Mm-hmm. And it's people who have never thought really about demonic possession are thinking about it, because they're like, there's nothing else that could possibly explain some of the behavior of some of these people.
Right. I mean, it's just...
And we're like, yeah, it's real.
Well, welcome to the real world. Mm-hmm. Thank you for finally waking up. But it got, this whole Ubisoft thing, it got to the point that, no joke, it's caught the attention of officials, political officials.
Good.
It caught the attention of one of the high up game developers over there, and being like, Japan should really stop making Western style games.
Yes. Yes. They need to make games that honor each culture. Should be able to make games that honors their culture. Mm-hmm. You can do that without tearing down somebody else's culture.
Yeah. But honestly, as for going back to this, like, literally they're tearing down people's cultures. They've been trying to tear down our culture for centuries.
Yeah. Oh, well.
They've been trying to tear down a bunch of other fucking cultures and all that shit. It's like, you're right. It's like there's a bunch of demonic possession going on, and you can see the look in their eyes.
Sure.
And it's crazy.
Well, what is hilarious is some of these people that they want to, scream out victimhood and all this bunch of stuff. And I'm like, look, buddy, I'm Appalachian. And usually they shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Because what are they going to say? So the first thing that will come to their mind is some kind of slam.
Yeah.
Automatically. Because it's been going on since like the 50s, 40s, 50s, somewhere through there. Mm-hmm. Whenever the Beverly Hillbillies were a thing. And they automatically pigeonhole and they think anybody and everybody from the mountains is like that. Mm-hmm. Now, do I have elements of Granny Clampett? You bet your ass I do. You bet your ass.
But it's our culture.
It is.
Why is it okay to make fun of our culture?
And it's like this. It's like family. It's like everybody knows they got family members. And it's just like, But you let somebody from outside the family start talking about that, and it's almost like, circling the wagons. Mm. It's like, no, that's family. Mm-hmm. You're not part of this. Leave it alone.
Right.
There's boundaries. And another boundary, I meant to mention this last night. God bless Elon Musk as far as bringing those astronauts home.
Yeah.
That they had left them up there, 8 or 9 months? They were supposed to be up there for like days and months.
Mm-hmm. I hope they had enough supplies up there. I hope everyone is alive and okay.
They came back alive.
All of them?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Like, there was no...
That made me so claustrophobic to think about that it was just crazy.
Having to use the bathroom up there.
I can't even imagine.
You gotta shit in a tube. A vacuum tube.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, as far as the supplies, they lived. Oh, it concerns me their mental health. And it's like, to be in space that long, and I know that there's people that's been in space longer, but that seemed to be a rather small whatever that they were in.
Yeah.
And because they were not prepared to be up there for that many months, and it was such a cramped, like I said, it makes me claustrophobic.
Oh. Well, I think they have to have like psych evaluations and stuff like that before doing that sort of job,
Again, they didn't know they didn't know they signed up for that.
That's true. Well, blame the previous government that we
Absolutely,
had.
that would have left them up there to die.
Yeah.
Did not care. Of course, when you've killed thousands, what's 2 more?
Well, the thing is, they prevented Elon from retrieving them.
Yes. You talk about the sin of omission.
Mm-hmm.
That they would rather that those people died than allow that man to go up there because that somebody may say something nice about him. That's sick.
Yeah.
That is demonic. People who have never been around autistic people, they are different.
Mm-hmm.
And people's like, oh, they don't feel. No, it's different. They exhibit feelings and emotions differently. That does not mean that they are without emotion.
Right.
And the stuff that man has gone through lately, and I told Clay, it concerned me because I saw recent interviews today. He looks gaunt. I mean, this has been hard on him. if he didn't have any emotions and stuff, it wouldn't faze him.
Right.
Let's look at some of the people doing evil. They look the same as they've looked for 60 years.
Mm-hmm. They look like fucking
ghouls.
Yeah. They look like something that came straight out from a crypt.
Mm-hmm. But it's been unbelievable. And that he has never, few people have ever been subjected to that level of attack. And it is on a spiritual and psychic basis. It truly is. So it's crazy. And that goes along with the derealization. I mean, I've had to the point before, I'm like, are we in a level of hell and we just don't know it?
I've thought that.
Other people have wondered that. It's like, because...
It's like, are we actually dead and we're just in...
I've wondered that.
Weird level.
As far as and there's all kinds of theories. These theories and stuff weren't even a thing. Not that long ago, nobody had, other than like, science fiction writers or something like that, Lovecraft, he was
well,
he was out there. I mean, he was out there, even by my standards. That's pretty severe.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, shit, there's a lot of thought processes that you learn, or theories that you learn even through just simply, I know this is going to sound stupid, but you do learn some stuff, or at least I do, playing video games or watching video games. It's like there's I don't know anything about the developer. I heard that he was a creep, but there's a game called Bad Parenting. And it was about this child who got killed by his father, and basically he was making up different scenarios, but this doll kept coming back to try to bring him back into reality to figure out what actually happened to him, the child, to figure out what actually happened to the child, and to basically bring justice to him and the mother.
You want me to tell you something worse than that? Children that are abused believe that they deserve it.
Yeah, that's a sick, twisted thing.
And that there are adults that were abuse survivors, and they still believe that they caused it. It's never a child's fault. Never, ever.
Well, that's the thing. Going into that game, I mean, that's sort of what, the doll mentioned to the kid. The doll was actually his true knowing self. And like I said, the kid was trying to make up these scenarios or whatever. Like, oh, it wasn't actually like this, or it was my fault, or something like that.
And that is so hard to try to break through. It is a form of programming. It is. And I'm not sure that with all the trauma as a collective and as a society and stuff like that, there's theories about that too. Have they done that to try to program us for whatever else?
It's possible.
My God, these are rabbit holes that you could lose your mind easily.
Yeah.
And apparently some have. I'm not joking about that.
Oh, yeah, some have full on, snapped. They snapped a while back.
When you allow somebody on, whatever kind of social media, or whether it's the news or an elected somebody, tell you to do something criminal, no. No. Because I guarantee you, if your ass is sitting there in jail, whoever that you listen to, they ain't gonna be sitting there beside you.
No.
They ain't gonna be no place. And what did they do with the coof stuff? Oh, we didn't tell people they had to.
It's like bullshit y'all did.
And that's gaslighting.
Yeah.
As far as the masks and the distancing and, oh, you can't come in here. How dare you? Oh, I dared. Much to youngest kid's chagrin. But yeah, I dared.
I try to say, I'm sorry, I have learned from that all.
No, it's not just you. It's everybody. You had neighbors that were turning in their neighbors because they had the wrong amount of people in their apartment. This is Nazi Germany shit.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me, that we see, and I saw it years ago.
Do we not know?
I could see the earmarkings of it years ago. Sometimes a lot of times I see stuff and I'm like, please God, no, please, 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 no. That is a whole lot of my prayer life is going, either God, please help us, or please God, no.
Well, there's a certain person out there that rhymes with ouchie.
Yeah.
Who is very much one of those fucking scientists from Nazi Germany.
Absolutely. Well, there was like George Soros, and that was a wonderful thing that in India today, they were shutting down his businesses, corporations, NGOs, bullshit stuff. Why is that man? I mean, this man
How is that man not in prison?
Right. He was Jewish. He turned on his own, as far as his own people, his own traditions, culture, everything to help the Nazis. Mm-hmm. How many other ones that are just like Soros do we have in our nation right now?
There's a lot. Some of them are sleeper cells.
Mm-hmm. They may not have his money, but as far as that same spirit, that same demonic spirit, that as long as they get what they want, they don't care who else has to suffer or die. You got a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that makes people fucking paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
When you've been betrayed, it makes you question everything. It does make you question your reality. You sit there and you go through every single thing. What did I do? Did I do something wrong? Whatever. It's crazy because, again, with the abused child thing, it must be my fault. Somebody did something horrible. It must be my fault.
Yeah.
And so with some of this...
That's one of the things that the devil tries to do. He tries to break people mentally.
Yes.
Mentally, spiritually, all that.
The mind is a battlefield.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Yeah,
you don't have to believe the lie. You can sit there and you can go, okay, what part did I play in this? No, I'm not at fault here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's making people look at themselves. Who are we really? Are we who we want to be?
Right.
Are we buying our own hype? Yeah. It's crazy. This is why everybody is having a little bit of derealization right now.
Yeah. Will it end? The derealization?
At some point. At some point.
Because it's like I think I heard somewhere that derealization is a symptom of trauma and PTSD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it is. But like I said, within that, if you've got somebody that has been traumatized, they have... The forces of darkness know how to take a broken brain and recreate it for the purposes of evil. We've seen that happen.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen.
We've seen it happen a lot.
So the best that you can do is be aware of what's going on. Question everything. Pray constantly.
Keep your head on the swivel. Stay prayed up.
Yeah, especially I worry about y'all that might be in urban areas. Please be alert all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's having paranormal. Everybody's having supernatural like never before.
Those that are in urban areas, I really do.
We worry about y'all. Honestly, we worry about y'all.
Yeah, because it's like most of the time they're ungrounded too, because it's like you don't got anywhere really to go touch grass or just be at peace, you know?
Yeah, the constant noise level, it's bound to keep somebody agitated all the time.
Yeah.
And the frequencies and the vibrations, I think a lot of that stuff gets trapped. There's no place for it to go.
I mean, all it does is it gets trapped and it bounces around
It
from model,
does.
from building to building. I mean, that's just constant
And the
walls.
people absorb it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I did change his X thing there in the description box last night, so it is accurate if you want to go and follow him over there on X.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell him where we at?
Yeah, you can find us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Rolanda COCWS. You can check me out on there too, that alien Sable. Mm-hmm. Robert, you got to get back to me on that tweet. Angeline, Elvira, and Nina Hagen all together at one party.
Yeah, holler at him over there. Just send him. You don't have to send him a DM or anything on X. Just send him a whatever and tag him.
And Nina Hagen and Angeline have hung out on several occasions.
I'm sure. But Robert has had an extraordinary life in a lot of ways. He's busy. He was on. Oh my goodness. Frank is his name. Frankly, I can't remember what it is. Oh my God, I can't remember. It's over on Rumble. And he had been on, quite frankly, is the name of it, guest the night before on that. It's always a good thing to hear Robert speak. He has just a wealth of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one makes me grateful that I am poddling each and every day.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. Poddling.
It's less complicated.
It is. It is a much less complicated life.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff of the world, wouldn't trade it for nothing. Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.